gentlemen, thank you so much for waiting. We are back here at the College Star League for our second matchup of the night. It's going to be the University of Utah Crimson Gaming against University of Colorado Esports. We did do a caster tag out. I am Daniel Degon Gonzalez, and with me is my main man, Fecus. How's it going, Fecus?
It's going fantastic. I'm really excited to be here. That Georgia Tech and University of Virginia game looked amazing. I really hope this one can live up to that hype because that one went to game number 3. I want to see 3 games in this one as well.
Definitely, and a back and forth kind of affair there. So we've got these two Pac-12 teams. You know, they're not only playing on the, I guess, the grand stage of gaming, but also in real sports, main sports, traditional sports. So we'll have a little bit of a rivalry here. So ACC battle between Georgia Tech and UVA. Now we got ourselves a Pac-12 little matchup here.
Yeah, that should be really exciting, and a lot of exciting matchups just in the whole collegiate atmosphere. I mean, of course, Riot's doing their thing, and helping. You know, we're doing the thing for Riot with the big collegiate ULoL campus series. Not to mention we have Big Ten going on right now, and like you mentioned, the Pac-12 teams coming out right now. So yeah, a lot of exciting teams coming out, a lot of exciting coverage on the collegiate esports, and this is just another addition to that. On a nice Monday. Is this Monday? Is it Monday? It is Monday.
It is a Monday.
Yeah, I usually cast on Mondays. So that's how I should probably be able to tell that. But yeah, a lot of really exciting things happening in the collegiate atmosphere, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. And glad to be here tonight. So we should be getting into Champion Select in just a moment. But until then, yeah, both these teams seem pretty evenly matched, Degon.
Yep, definitely. So as you can see here, both these teams in the West Division, group number 9. So there are multiple groups. The top 2 teams from each group will move on to the round of 32, and we'll play a bracket stage from there. And the winner of each region will go ahead and represent themselves in the College Star League playoff finals. So you can see University of Utah did not get their game in that first week, so they're at 0-0. Colorado did play Embry-Riddle, and Embry-Riddle took that one 2-0, and the Embry-Riddle is actually at 2-0 in a series record right now. I believe they beat the Thompson River University team. So Embry-Riddle on top. So these two kind of jostling in the middle of the pack. We need to see what comes out of the University of Utah. We haven't seen too much out of them. They have some solid players here, all within Plat and Diamond. On the opposite side of University of Colorado, they got themselves same thing, Plat and Diamond. So we should see a very even matchup as we get into this game.
Yeah, very much so. And we should probably clarify, just in case it's University of Colorado at Boulder. I believe there's another University of Colorado. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but this one specifically is at Boulder, and it's actually it's considered a party town, a party college, which I don't think has affected the League of Legends players. They were here on time, ready to go, and even I think our coordinator at CSL actually made a reference to them. Why are they not partying right now? But there's collegiate games to be played. So let's get into picks and bans here. Rengar and Ivern taken away. That is being banned by Utah and Hecarim. And now Camille. Camille actually recently got hit with a little bit of a nerf bat, but people still feel that she's a little bit too powerful. She's extremely mobile. We're not going to be seeing her on the Rift tonight. But again, along with that Hecarim, we'll see what the third ban is for Utah. And of course, University of Colorado at Boulder. And you might have been seeing in the LCS and the LCK the 10 ban or the it's the 10 ban phase. Yeah, 10 ban phase. We're not quite there yet. We're waiting for Riot to patch that one through, and once they do, we'll be on to the 10 ban phase. But for now, just on to the normal 6 bans at the moment. But Syndra being the last banned out by Utah, so gonna take away some of that power.
Yeah, definitely. And touching on the Camille it was hit with the numbers about how much damage she dealt and some of her stats. But really the issue with Camille that a lot of the players have right now is her kit. She just kind of has everything. She has engage, she has disengage, she has heal, she has true damage, she has a CC. So it's very tough to play. Yeah, jumping over walls, right, moving over terrain. So she has a lot in her kit that can help her out. And that's why we see that ban coming out from there, as we see a very quick Ashe pickup here for this side of University of Utah, or as you saw maybe earlier, UA. And that's a champion that James is very, very comfortable with. One of his most played champions this season and in some of the previous seasons, and very much a staple of competitive play. Ashe with that hard CC with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Yeah, and it's a really good engage coming out from just an ADC. I mean, you've been seeing Varus pop up a lot in bot lane because of his ultimate engage, and that's why Ashe has always been a big factor in engaging as an ADC. But you're talking about engage. Look at our UC Boulder. they got a Maokai and a Vi locked in, and on an immobile Ashe, that's going to be a huge amount of engage. If they can get to the back lines and just engage onto Ashe, they can have a chance to blow her up almost immediately. So we're going to see what Utah picked to try to protect around her and keep the Ashe alive, because has a big front line already to deal with, a big dive to deal with already from UC Boulder. Of course, Kraden and Giraffe going to see what they pick up, and Nautilus would be a good pickup. Create a big front line in front of the Ashe, and of course, we do have a little bit of a global coming in from the Rise. Okay, there we go. Yep. I think it was going to lock in there for a second. But yeah, Giraffe locking in the Rise, so going to have a little bit of a semi-global there, but also a very heavily scaling AP champion in the mid lane.
Yeah, we got to see Nautilus at the beginning of the season at IEM Gyeonggi when I believe it was Lorlo. Lorlo pulled that one out for Team Liquid and just stayed on it. Really didn't matter who he was playing against. He played against a couple of Korean teams and he just stayed on that Nautilus. So Nautilus, kind of a pick that can be in the top lane, also in the bottom side of the map at support. So a flex pick here as we have Thresh and Ezreal. So that's kind of interesting with the Ezreal. The Ezreal can kind of get in, get out, is pretty self-sufficient. Very not what Ashe is. Ashe is kind of like that crystal, that crystal cannon, right? The glass cannon where it deals a lot of damage, but not very mobile. And if you get engaged upon, which is exactly what Vi and Maokai, and if Thresh lands a death sentence, can definitely do. So Ezreal going in the hands of Akanda on the side of University of Colorado Buffalo. This is the University of Colorado Buffalo. The other two, I believe, are University of Colorado Denver and University of Colorado, my hometown when I was a baby boy, University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. So there's your three University of Colorado's, the public system there in Colorado.
Fun fact about that one. Yeah, there's a lot of, Colorado's it's a pretty popular area, so a lot of colleges there. And as we were talking about that one, though, Rek'Sai and Tom Kench locked in for the final picks, rounding out Utah, I should say. And Ezreal. So Ezreal, he's going to be able to stay safe a lot. Let the front line dive as much as possible. That way, they don't have to peel as much for an Ezreal. He is very, slippery with the arcane shift. He also does have flash and heal, of course. Not to mention Thresh to keep him alive with whatever actives he decides to throw at him, not to mention the Thresh Lantern. So we're going to see how that one plays out for University of Colorado Boulder in a Teemo. Not happening.
Triggered. I'm triggered already.
This would be for a mid lane, I would assume. I don't think they're going to be putting Ezreal mid lane or any others mid lane. I mean, Teemo. So that's the thing I love about collegiate gaming, is that you can pick players like champions like Teemo, and you can actually make them very effective. But they're going to go the safer route. They're going to go topple more into that big engage and go with an Orianna, throw the ball onto the Vi or the Maokai, and create just a big wombo with the Shockwave. That's going to be an interesting engage if UC Boulder can pull that one off.
Absolutely, and I really, really enjoyed this draft phase here. James went ahead and said, James and the rest of Utah said, okay, we're going with Ashe. Ashe is going to be our glass cannon, also our engaged, but with the counter picks from Maokai and Vi, it's like, okay, we're going to dive you. Then Utah comes back saying, well, you can dive us, but then Tom Kench will go ahead, eat up Ashe, keep everyone safe. And then right there at the end, the Orianna pick from Colorado is saying, well, we're going to blow you up before you can even eat up Ashe, or we'll just blow up your Tom Kench, and then we'll just continue to win the fight. So a nice little back and forth here. Team fights definitely going on the side of Colorado, just with their team composition. There's so much front end damage, so much burst, that if they're able to go ahead and take down one, they're going to be able to win the fight 5v4. On the opposite side, when you're utilizing someone with a global ultimate like Rise, with Ashe, with Tom Kench, that's mobility. And also Rek'Sai, that's mobility all across the map. They want to go ahead and zip around, catch people off, get themselves a pick using the enchanted crystal arrow that Ashe brings, and then pick up kills from there and slowly use the numbers advantage to move around the map and take the objectives.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things is map rotation. They might not even want to an all-out fight. Like you said, maybe use that Ashe crystalline arrow to just pick off anybody that they can and just out-rotate UC Boulder, while UC Boulder, clearly with their team comp, they are looking to team fight. And if with that sort of comp, if they get everything they want off, they're going to win those team fights, especially if they can just completely negate an Ashe engage or even Ashe damage by just deleting her off the map during any team fights that UC Boulder can manage. But we're going to see how it gets underway in about a little over 2 minutes. Do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Band Gaming. Twitch.tv, and of course Azu's going to throw it over to a quick commercial break to give it a little bit more in-depth about band gaming. But my name is Joshua Fekes Quest here with D-Gon. We'll be back on the Rift in just a moment.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
Got a little bit of a pause, had a little bit of a disconnect there, so we're getting that one situated between University of Utah and University of Colorado. Thank you so much for being with us on this late Monday night in the East Coast. I guess if you're in the West Coast, if you're in Utah or Colorado, it's 2 hours behind, so 8:22 p.m. We finally got ourselves underway. I am Daniel D-Gon Gonzalez. With me is Joshua Fekes Quest. How's it going, Josh?
Fan-freaking-tastic, D-Gon. Hello. And yeah, pause getting right into it. I think the ADC had a router issue. He's restarting it right now. Should be back in the game in just a moment. So just hang tight. It'll be here. The fun's coming. Don't worry. But we can go and start looking at starting items. It's actually there's really not much to tell, to be honest. Although Maokai, he actually did go a corrupting potion. Sometimes we see him go the Doran's ring for not only the mana regen, but also just the sustain that he can have with the extra health from the Doran's ring, things like that. A little bit extra power with the saplings, but decided to go with the corrupting potions. This usually says that he's going to be intending to skirmish quite a bit up in that top lane.
Yeah, I mean, both kind of top laners. Same story as it's been probably since the Juggernaut patch of 2000. I guess, Season 4. Just kind
Yeah.
of wet noodle fight up in the top lane, hit each other, run away, use perseverance, gain your health back, and then do it again, wait for a gank, you know. So I think that's a big thing that we want to watch out for. What side of the jungler is going to start on? And then will the laners go ahead and manipulate the wave of minions purposefully with intention? And we'll go ahead and be sure to call that one out as we see it.
Yeah, of course. And we still obviously have not seen what I am Kenya. I'll probably just shorten that to Kenya. I've not seen what he's going to go with. And of course, that name is not indicative, you know, or a representation of the actual country of Kenya. I don't know how they would approach the top lane of the Rift, but we'll see how this one does over in Utah. But going to shorten that name to Kenya, of course. But yeah, we haven't seen what he's picked up yet, too. Yeah, it's, like you said, a big wet noodle fight. We're not seeing a Riven in the top lane. We're seeing the Maokai versus the Nautilus. It's not going to be anything special. It's more than likely going to be determined by the involvement of the junglers up in that top lane, almost like it always has been. And of course, how they utilize their teleport to get around the map to influence other lanes, as the top lane still considered an island. So sometimes they want to get off that island and affect the other pieces of land around them, and that's where the teleport comes in. And that's what really makes or breaks a top laner. I enjoy seeing good top laners. I absolutely dread seeing top laners just sit there and wet noodle fight. It is the most boring piece of League of Legends I've ever seen. But when they use those teleports, when they place them in a very strategic spot, whether it be team fights around Dragon or just ganking in the bot lane with the jungler to coordinate a team fight, it's actually extremely fun to watch, and I expect that we'll see that. These teams are, you know, decently high level. Some, I think, a couple of them are still in their provisionals, but that doesn't really mean much compared to the last season. So we'll see how it fares out here. But I expect to see a wide use of the teleport, especially from Utah, considering all the global presence. They have to go into this game with the mindset, hey, we're gonna out-rotate UC Boulder.
Absolutely, and you know, it's very nuanced. The top lane is so for a camera to just kind of peek in, see 5, 10, maybe 15 seconds of a little bit of a transaction, you might not get the whole gist of what's happening. And actually, even in the LCS and in a lot of the casts lately, the official casts, the camera's been focused on the bottom lane a lot, just because there's a little bit more trading, there's more damage going back and forth. So I think the camera algorithm looks for, where is the damage coming from? Where can we go ahead and see there's a little bit interaction other than just a little bit of CSing? So a lot of the time, the camera's kind of down on the bottom side of the map. And so with that, we'll go ahead and touch on the little matchup here with Ashe Tahm Kench against Ezreal and Thresh. A little bit more of a kind of a... It's interesting because Ashe against Ezreal in the laning phase, Ashe is more of like a burst champion using volley and trying to get an auto attack off to proc her passive and get a little bit of extra crit damage. On the side, you have Ezreal, who's straight poke. But then on the side of the supports, Thresh is looking to write himself a novel of death sentences, and that leads to some burst damage opportunities. And on the opposite side, Toast is kind of just there looking to lick things, kind of poke as well. So you've got a burst AD carry with a poke support, kind of tanky support, and then a poke AD carry with more of a kill support.
Yeah, especially in the way of Toast on a Tahm Kench. You as a Tahm Kench, you want to get those 3 auto attacks onto the enemy champion, so you're able to eat them and spit them out onto the side where you want them, like usually into the Ashe or into a jungler, wherever is advantageous. I mean, it's hard to do to an Ezreal. He has Arcane Shift. He can just shift away. That's no problem. Thresh, he can pretty much take a good amount of damage. Not to mention, if you focus Thresh, that means Ezreal's free to just kind of shoot at whatever he wants. So you don't really want to do that either. So, yeah, Tahm Kench, she's going to be a frontline. Just try to maybe even block some of those death sentences. And, yeah, just be a big meat shield. Let James... let James CS as much as he can and make it into this late game as powerful as possible. But speaking of ADCs, they're all in. I think that was actually James that reconnected, so everyone is in. We see, looks like UC Boulder grouping all the way down to the bottom. They may be looking for an invade here, Degon.
Yep, a little bit of an invade. You see this every now and then in competitive. They like to rush down to the bottom side of the map, go to the bottom bush, but it does look like James will spot that out early.
And there goes
and it's always funny. It's always funny to see an invade fail because it's like, what do we do? They kind of go back and forth, and that's exactly what we saw right there from University of Colorado. But with that knowledge, you can look on the top side of the map. University of Utah going to be heading to the top side and getting a vision ward down on the red buff.
Yeah, knowledge is power. I mean, you just saw Spooky down on the bot side invading, but now we can actually just time when he's going to get there, or maybe just decide, or I want to say decide, get the knowledge of whether or not Spooky is going to travel up top, knowing that they saw him down in the bot lane, may try to throw them a little bit of a switch, but it looks like he's going to stick at his blue buff, and now Utah know that, and with that shield, that's Penga actually getting the advantage in the damage in the mid lane, so congratulations. We'll see how long that one stays. But both junglers are starting on the bot side, on the red buff for Utah, of course, blue buff for UC Boulder. So they're currently making their way up to the top lane around the 3.5 minute mark, which again, that's when the top lane is really decided, whenever these junglers start doing it.
Yeah, and just small little differences here. Both junglers have AoE damage in their kits. Does look like Vi is going to stop off at Wolves first. Yeah, so both junglers are going to go and stop off at Wolves, and then we'll be looking at the gank here in about 3:15. I do believe that Rek'Sai will get there first, but that remains to be seen. So until then, kind of just going back and forth. Going to see some early trading, early laning from the mid lane here, and Giraffe getting some nice damage down.
Yeah, he is. He did not want to fight. I guess it's a level 2. Yeah, it's level 2 rise. Got that room prison. Huge damage. Hold on. Looks like in the bot lane. Better call Sala. Sorry about that. Almost had the third proc from Toast on Tom Kench. He's able to just back off of that one. Chug. Just eat one of the biscuits. You're not chugging any pots when you have biscuits. You're eating them.
Right.
Stay healthy. Just fine.
So back and forth here we are, and it is Vi that's going to get to the top side of the map first. If you look at the mini-map, now we're going to go and pan up to the top side and leave it. You're looking back in the mid lane, Giraffe walking all over Shipanga. Shipanga might be able to walk this one out, will be able to walk this one out, and it doesn't look like the gank was successful. Now on the bottom side of the map, Death Sentence gets counteracted, regurgitated, devoured and regurgitated is James. Nice play by Toast.
Yeah, and that's one of the big advantages of playing a Tom Kench into a Thresh and land those death sentences. Hold on, we have a flash and a root prison in the mid lane. Isn't going to be enough. There's another flash, counter flash by Panga. He is going to get away with a blinking health bar, but he's going to be fine. And that was actually, hold on, in the bot lane, death sentence, but again, negated by Tom Kench, and he's just right in the front line with that volley right in the face of Anaconda. But both summoners down on the side of Giraffe, I should say, on the side of Utah. Only a flash down for Panga right now.
Yep, so Shipanga able to get himself out of that, but will be losing some CS, a decent amount of CS if Giraffe is able to play this right. He's going to shove that minion wave into the tower as he does right there, and it's going to be about a whole wave, and some change behind is going to be Shipanga.
And yeah, that's actually really huge in early going. If you can just keep doing that, and not to mention, he did that at level 1 with no AP items, no mana items for Giraffe's Rise. So he has that tier now, which means he's going to have almost no problem keeping mana up in that mid lane. He could probably end up doing that again pretty soon, though. Shipanga is coming back with a little bit more help from the Doran's Ring. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Magnum Opus going to take a little bit of damage from I Am Kenya. Junglers still have not made their presence felt anywhere on the map. In fact, it looks like Spooky may be trying to look for something.
Oh. A little bit of a hook there. Yeah, not a very good rider is Sella, but here comes Sella. Nice flash forward into the play. Spooky missing the Vault Breaker, walking forward, walks into the tower, takes a little bit of extra damage. Now James getting some nice auto attacks down. Spooky forced to flash away, so the gank foiled. Nice play by Utah, but more of a misplay from Colorado there.
Oh my gosh, Shipanga, there's more action in the mid lane. Shipanga is just getting hammered the entire time. Giraffe, he is not letting up on Shipanga at all. Knows that he has the rotation possibility to out-rotate spell-wise on Shipanga. He's just dishing out as much damage, but when he's not dishing out damage and he wants to try to get close, Shipanga has an opportunity. Hold on, but he threw the shield on. And this is one of the big things about Shyvana, is that when you throw the shield on one of your champions or yourself, you do get some magic resist. So he wants to keep that ball on her as much as possible in order to negate some of that damage coming out from Giraffe. It is really bursty, and that shield is going to make or break that mid lane. But hold on, flash in the mid lane, Kraydon, he's there. There's no mana coming out from Shipanga, still holding on to the Ghost though, knowing Kraydon doesn't really have much of a killer in his arsenal.
No, not quite yet. He did not go with the Warrior's Enchantment. Instead, he went with the Tracker's Knife. Sorry, with the Tracker's Knife instead of damage item coming out of the jungle, so not too much to worry about from Topanga. So Topanga bouncing back pretty nicely after a tough start. Does still have the summoner advantage for a little bit longer. Ghost is about to come off of cooldown for Giraffe, and very early on we had that gank at the top side of the map. Kenya worked his way out. He did burn Flash, so Kenya does not have Flash right now. That isn't in the knowledge for the side of Colorado, but it doesn't look like Spooky's going to be dealing with that. He's working on the bottom side of the map, getting vision, and kind of working his way around Dragon. And kind of prepping the wave. He sees his bot lane's backing up, so we'll get the vision now, have it there so that when we come back, maybe we can go ahead and start something.
Yeah, and you were mentioning earlier that during the big cams of the LCS, it's focused on the bot lane a lot. Hold on, more action in the mid and top lane. The top lane, I'm just assuming it's going to be a noodle fight. There's no jungler up there. They are level 6. I don't think they're going to be using that here. They're losing health at about the same rate. One of the big differences here is that Magnum Opus actually has a Bambi Cinder, but it's not helping him out too much right now. He had the Bambi Cinder along with the corrupted potions going, so it was burning Kenya quite a bit, but ended up getting the out-rotated the spells there by Kenya, so got the damage off.
Even Bambi still gets hurt when he gets hit in the face with an anchor, so not
Yes,
the best thing there by Magnum Opus. Kenya's doing a very solid job here farming up, and with the early purchase of the Spectre's Cow, he's able to go ahead and help out, but now Giraffe getting caught in the middle, and Topanga saying, welcome to Boy Meets World. It's going to be Giraffe going down, and the first kill heading on over to the University of Colorado.
Yeah, a little bit overstepping by Giraffe, and that was just a good response from Topanga, seeing that he overstepped, knowing that he could shockwave him back into the turret range and got an extra turret or 2 shot on Giraffe. And now we have a little bit of contention over a ward in the bot lane. A lot of damage put onto James. Big wave coming up onto UC Boulder side, so they're going to have quite a bit of CS here underneath the turret.
Oh, but look at the minimap now. We do have a roam. Spooky does see Kenya recalling and decides against it. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, it's because Magnum Opus backed off, so nothing doing there. Topanga gets that kill, roams a little bit up towards the mid lane, but doesn't find anything either. But touching back down here in the training on the bottom side of the map, people lose a lot of health over fighting over wards. Like, they die fighting over wards, so
Knowledge is power.
sometimes maybe not the best thing to go ahead and go all in over a ward, as we do have level 6 hit by these bottom laners.
They're probably right on that one. Sapling gonna stop Kenya from backing, a minor inconvenience. He's actually gonna stay in lane, so that did keep him there. So Magnum Opus may have gotten what he wanted. Not too sure on that one. Kenya does have 1200 to spend right now as opposed to 1100 on Magnum Opus, so would have came back with a pretty large item. Both their teleports are down. I think he just wanted to be annoying as possible there.
Yeah, I think he did a very successful job, as we do see Kraton and Spooky saying hello. And nice cancel of the Vault Breaker. Kraton not going to take too much damage. So now knowledge of the junglers, both on the top side of the map. I think a big thing to point out here is the gold lead. Even though the kill lead is on the side of the buffs, the Utes farming up very, very well, especially in that top lane. I am Kenya taking a nice CS lead, and here on the bottom side of the map, James doing his thing as well. 84 CS, possibility of having 90 CS at 10 minutes. Solid stuff here by the Utes to stay in the game.
Yeah, now they're doing a great job farming. Mid lane is falling behind a little bit, especially due to that overzealous aggression in the mid lane. Hold on, death sentence on to James.
Oh, the box!
But yeah, there's this Tom Kinch doing what he does. James is
Oh,
a bit of safety, but nice lantern coming out from the Thresh. Flashes miss, and that is Akonda picking up that kill, flashing out of the way. Actually, he didn't want to be eaten by the big Tom Kinch, and now Better Call Saul needs to be careful because he is very low on health. One Tongue Lash may do it. Now Spooky in the bot lane. Here comes the Assault and Battery. Goes down the Chain Smite. Going to slow down Toast enough for Spooky to pick up the kill.
Yeah, Toast had absolutely no reason to keep going forward after he missed the initial Tongue Lash. Once his AD carry went down, it was very close, ended up hitting a minion, walked forward, tried to bait it out, but he had no support from his mid laner, no support from his jungler. TPs were kind of locked step in step, so he can't expect a TP. So Toast kind of losing control there, and also always tough to see a fail flash over a wall. James, not exactly sure where he's going with that, but that one hurt me. I don't know if that one hurt you too, Pekkas. But now we've gotten engaged in the mid lane. Topanga just laying down the law, saying, hey, This is what Shockwave looks like. This is what it feels like.
Yeah, they're
And
not really hitting each other in the mid lane with wet noodles. More like kendo sticks at this point. They keep pashing each other back and forth. So painful for each other, but looks like Topanga is actually coming up a little bit more for these trades.
Yep, Kenya coming down.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, there's a yeah, Kenya, he lands the big hook on Topanga. Crystalline arrow nowhere in sight. It was just as a backup and just in case, but very nice roam coming out from I Am Kenya, and already making his presence felt out the side of that island.
Absolutely, and that was a very, very good play. Nice dodge there by James, but a very good play by Kenya. And for the side of Utah, we'll go back to it in a second if there's a little bit of engage here. Kraydon flashing forward, getting the knockup. Sala going ahead, and nice play. Will get everyone out. So, nice little play there, but not too much gain from the side of Utah. So going back to that play, there wasn't many plays for Utah to make. So, you know, bot lane losing, mid lane losing. So Kenya, he's the one with the lead. He facilitates how to share that with everyone else as he's trying to walk himself out of this one. I'm sure he will here off Magnum Opus. Yep, we'll be able to do that. So solid play there by University of Utah. I really like the fact that Kenya takes his lead, transfers it back in the mid lane, and equals out that footing.
And all while that happens, looks like Utah, they are going to focus on this first dragon, the Mountain Drake. Spooky is in the area. I don't think he's going to advance forward and on this one. Yeah, his smite is given over to Utah, but now James is hooked. He's eaten by Tom Kenshu. Actually, better call Sal is going to go in anyways. Play toasting back, and now Kraydon is in this one with Spooky. James, he's going down very quickly. Akanda finally picking it up. Nice shockwave from Topanga. Coming out in from the mid lane.
Clean up.
That is 3 kills onto the side of UC Boulder. Very nicely played.
And just as I praise Utah for their map awareness and figuring out how to get themselves back in, a slow rotation from Giraffe's Rise means that it's going to be a 4v3 on the bottom side of the map, and the buffs, even though they give up the Drake, they're going to be taking a lot of damage onto this tower and possibly getting first tower blood gold. Solid stuff here from the buffs.
And of course, Kraydon, and this is one thing. So yeah, they had an opportunity to do quite a bit of damage to that turret, but with the huge amount of map rotation that Utah has, it's actually hard for them to just focus in on that turret immediately, as Kraydon immediately goes up. You know, and Toast too, immediately when they're both up in range, able to just kind of transport over to the bottom with Wakanda. I think he's going to be alright, especially after he dodges that tongue lash and the crystalline arrow. So he's going to be fine, but the tower barely took any damage. They heard the big cry from the Queen of the Void, Rek'Sai, and they started to back off, thinking that Kraydon was going to come up from behind them or somewhere else. They didn't know where the tunnels were, so that's just one of the advantages of Utah having this massive mobility team.
I think it's also the advantage of using the Debonair Ezreal, because he's got some fancy feet right there. That was,
that was
solid dodging there by Akanda. Any one of those landing, he's dead, because Acquired Taste is going to lead to the stun from Tongue Lash. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to go ahead and catch him out as well. And he didn't have Flash that whole time, so nice job there by Akanda, making up for being a little bit too aggressive and greedy, as we see the wet noodle fight coming in here in the top lane. Something that I'm a little disappointed about, Kenya did have the teleport advantage when he did roam to the mid lane, help out Giraffe against Topanga and pick up that kill. Magnum Opus started his teleport and canceled it, so there was a little bit of a buffer there where they had a TP play up. They could have done it there at the Dragon. They did not, and now both top laners have TP up once again.
Yeah, the wet noodle fight, like I said, that's exactly where top lane shines, is when they're not in top lane, because, hold on, Giraffe, he's running right into Better Call Saul. I should say. Here comes the teleport. It's from Utah. Giraffe actually gets hooked through the wall, and that's exactly what he was. He just rune prisoned Better Call Saul right in his face. So Spooky, he's down bot, but so are 5 members of Utah.
Counter engage, here comes the TP.
Counter TP coming out. Magnum Opus is here. He gets hooked, he goes down. Or is he going to go down? No, Toast saves him. Huge shockwave though from Topanga. That was a huge shockwave. Edge over to Boulder. Toast is almost dead. He has to flash out. Missing shot, not enough, but James is going to go down. Double kill for Akanda. 5-0-3 now. That was a 1-for-3 trade. And the blinking health bars on the side of Utah mean they have to back off.
And that's so unfortunate for the side of Colorado, on the side of Utah. Again, They try to initiate with the teleport, as I just brought up, but that teleport wasn't very successful. The nice counterplay there by Better Call Saul to slow down the engage from Giraffe. Box going down, it slowed everything down. And then all of a sudden, Kenya's like, what do I do? I'm here. Let's figure out something. And in that little bit of confusion, the team kind of split up. Teleport came down from Magnum Opus, and Colorado is the team fighting team. They're the ones that want to go 5v5. And on top of the fact, they're more fed than Utah. And so easy pickings there. It was a little bit of fun to try to see everyone try to get away, but there was no way they were getting away from that team fight. Nice counter engage from the side of Colorado.
Yeah, if Topanga can keep landing these shockwaves, he's going to keep turning every one of these team fights. Akonda does not need protecting because these shockwaves, the big front line from Magnum Opus and Spooky, has been so great. They don't even need to full-on engage on James right now. They just need to take out somebody in the front line, let Akonda just poke from behind, and let Topanga burst everyone down as much as possible. It's worked out very, very well for UC Boulder. And that's exactly what they want. They've been wanting that. That's how their team comp was formed around, like you said. And now it doesn't matter about what map rotation is coming out from Utah because UC Boulder, they have control of the map.
They absolutely do. And there's a shockwave landing onto James, but now the damage turning back around. Toast getting the tongue lash down, but it's not going to mean too much. Again, Topanga just throwing down those shockwaves to let everyone know. Set the tone. I'm the big boss in the mid lane. Don't come into my lane expecting to land anything. And so, again, just James forced to kind of back up and mid lane pressure gone.
And now it looks like there's a little bit of focus into this top lane. Akonda knew what he was doing, just kind of trolling around Kenya. Of course, the dredge line cannot go through walls. So Akonda was going to be fine, taking that Thresh Express out to safety. Now Spooky, he's hanging out in top lane around the Krugs. This is Kraydon around the Gromp. But it looks like they're both, or at least the Kraydon is going back off. Now, Giraffe is actually doing Magnum Opus. I don't think this is going to go well for Giraffe.
I don't think so either. Now it does look like Magnum Opus is going to go ahead and drop down the Vengeful Maelstrom. And Giraffe trying to get himself out does get slowed down.
Oh my gosh.
The Vengeful Maelstrom doing tons of damage, but Giraffe will be able to get out, finally burning that ghost. And Flash will get away safely. But again, these are the kind of mistakes that are happening on the side of Utah right now. They're getting too aggressive when they shouldn't be, and they're not using their team comp correctly.
Now he's gonna go right in onto James. Big shockwave. That's just two of them. That is exactly what UC Boulder was. Now Toast, he's gonna go down. Double kill for Spooky. Because that shield does not last forever.
No, it definitely does not. Gray health turning into gray screen there, and I didn't see the ball. I didn't see the ball at all. Topanga just on point with his ball mechanics. You can call him Steph Curry, you can call him Chris Paul, but he's all over the place right now. Solid stuff from him.
I'm a wrestling fan. I'm going to call him Randy Orton because it came from out of nowhere. What huge dredge line came from onto Akonda from Kenya. I say huge, that wasn't really that huge, I guess. Kraydon is there. Nothing really resulted from that.
We were hype off of your RKO reference. I loved it.
Big wrestling fan. Oh, yeah.
So taking stock of the score here, we're about almost 20 minutes in, and it's a big kill lead right now, but still, again, not the biggest gold lead for Colorado. It's 3,000 at 20 minutes. Couple towers on the pockets of Utah, so that's what's keeping them in there. There's a huge wave on the bottom side of the map, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to get it because we do have 5 men on the top side of the map for Utah. Colorado only has 4 there. It does look like they will concede the top lane tower, all the while Topanga's in the mid lane trying to take the mid lane tower. Death charge going in, and Akonda in a little bit of trouble, but look at Rise. Rise gets absolutely deleted, and now Magnum Opus, he's huge. The Vengeful Maelstrom really angry, dealing damage. Kenya very low. Akonda, and it does look like Colorado's winning this fight, and all the while, this is 4v5. Kenya very low. He's going to trying to get out, not going to be able to get out. Toast going down as well. Spooky trying to 1v1 against James, thinks better of it, walks backwards. Here comes the rest of the team. Better Call Saul, and that's why he picks up the kill. It's the ace, and Colorado takes a commanding lead in this game.
And they go immediately to Baron. Topanga was not even in that fight. They did not need the big shockwave ult coming out from the Wombo combo. All they needed was Akonda to stay alive in the big front line, Spooky and Magnum Opus. That was absolutely huge for UC Boulder. And now, it's at this point in the game, it's 2-16, 31.5k to 37.2k, in the favor of UC Boulder. UC Boulder.
Yep.
Where it looks like Utah, they just need to think about what to do next game. It's a best of 3. They have an opportunity to come back and try to bring it to a best of 3. I guess I should say game 3 in the best of 3. But man, if UC Boulder play like this in the next game, it's going to be a very early night for Utah.
Well, it's always easier to play the engaged team, right? Because
Right.
as people that play video games, what are you used to doing when you play a video game? It's kill, it's fight.
Right.
It's much harder to go ahead and be strategic all the way around with a full team and have everyone be on the same page. So that's a very difficult thing that Utah is doing here. And let's not take away the fact that Giraffe took that early aggression against Topanga, took the gold lead after forcing the flash early out of Topanga. So there's mechanics here on the side of Utah, but Colorado's team composition is easier to play, and especially easier to play when you have a gold lead. When your Maokai just doesn't take damage, it makes it so much easier. You saw Rise went in, tried to get to the back line, everyone turned around and blew him up, and it was that easy.
Yeah, Rise, he doesn't have the Seraph's Embrace yet, so he doesn't even have that big shield to really rely on from the item itself. Of course, he does have the shield from one of his passes. One of his multiple passes. Yeah. I was trying to figure out the plural version there, but yeah, he doesn't have. He only has a shield from his own ability.
Pass-I.
I'm sorry?
One of his pass-I.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that in my head. I was like, that's not right. That's stupid, Josh. But yeah, he doesn't even have Seraph's Embrace yet, which actually he does now, but that doesn't help. 3 minutes ago when he was dead.
Right.
So if he dives into the middle of everybody, it's not going to really last too long. He can try to burst somebody down, but he has to do it in one rotation because chances are he'll die. And he wasn't able to do that. He died obviously, but he's not strong enough right now. True Shot Barrage coming down just to poke them down a little bit more. That's what Ezreal's great at. Just poking down, throwing the ball on the Magnum Opus. That way if a Twisted Advance comes in, well, Shockwave will be ready, the Engage will be ready. And Utah, they're falling back. They want nothing. They do not want to be a part of this ball.
No, they do not. And to clarify real quick, ICCO, it's not the champions are easy to play, the team composition is easy to play. It's an easier game plan, and they're doing a much better job of it than Utah's a little bit more complex one. They try to do something complex. It's like if you're a diver and you try to do something with 3 flips and a couple of twists, and then you land like the 2 Filipino divers and they landed on their bodies. That's kind of what's happening to Utah right now.
I got swimming into this mess.
Yep, diving specifically.
Swimming and wrestling so far.
Yep, so Colorado now. Ooh, nice flash away by James. Didn't want to have any little bit of Better Call Saul's penmanship on the death sentence, so he walks away from that one. But what does not walk away is the inhibitor. It does go down on the bottom side of the map, as we do have a massive 11,000 gold lead here at 25 minutes.
God.
And there's a shockwave. It's a 2-man shockwave. Still.
However many men, James died. Damage done. Topanga, he's going to go the ball onto Spooky. They're going to go and dive deep onto Giraffe. And Magnum Opus takes up that kill. Flash for Better Call Saul. Yeah, that was just a zoning flash in Death Sentence because Toast ate him right up and spit him out into safety. But I don't think it'll matter because I believe UC Boulder, they're going to close this game out.
Death sentence, I think, death sentence was not for this game. It's gonna reverberate into next game. It was sending a message, hey man, leave the thresh up, I'll continue to make plays for my bottom side partner. We do see Magnum Opus going to the bottom side of the map, but it's not really gonna matter too much. The towers are down, fighting is gonna continue. Spooky, all the health back from Purge of the Colossus, but the Nexus taking a ton of damage, and there it is. A 25-minute quick one here. 18-2. Stomperino, the Buffs, stampeding over the Utes in Game 1.
Yeah, very, very explosive game by Colorado University Boulder. I think I'd be calling them UC Boulder. But anyway, they are Boulder. Yeah, this huge explosive game from them. They immediately in that top lane team fight. While that was happening, by the way, the Rift Herald actually left the Rift. He was preparing, he's the Herald for the actual Baron. Immediately after that team fight, Boulder, they went straight to the Baron and just destroyed after that. I mean, they were already destroying in team fights as it was, but that's what they're expected to do with that team cop. But after that, did not take long for them to take advantage of that Baron buff and just power their way into the base.
No, it didn't. And what I want to see out of Utah, not even from picks and bans, but just as players, just be a little bit more patient, right? You lost the first blood. That's fine. Giraffe and Shapenga were equal in gold even after that. And they caught back the gold lead. Be a little bit more patient. Play around your team composition. Too quickly did we see Utah try to catch back up in kills. And that's one of the big things when you're playing competitive. You don't have a gold ticker, you just have the kills, and you have towers, but you really can't tell the gold difference, and the gold difference was not that big. And I'm Kenya roaming down the mid lane. That shows great awareness of the team composition, the way it's supposed to be played, using your numbers advantage. But then again, the dragon there in the bottom side of the map, it was 4v3, no teleport coming, right? Giraffe not rotating down, and maybe that's because he gave up first blood, so he was trying to get the gold. That can't happen. You've got to be a little bit more patient. Let your team scale up and give yourself an opportunity to get yourself back in the game on equal footing. And I think the Utes, if they go ahead and show a little bit more patience, they'll be able to work themselves back. What are your thoughts on Colorado taking the lead here, Josh?
I mean, with that team comp, they just played it so well, and that's taking nothing away from Utah. They had a great team comp. They just weren't able to get it rolling to where they should have been, which is out rotating Boulder, picking someone off with the Crystal Arrow. I mean, they were trying to team fight early on. It didn't work, and yeah, in the mid lane, Giraffe, he needs to not be so aggressive. The other aggression was fine, but you can't outright getting into the tower range. That is a no, especially in high competitive play. Somebody will take advantage of that one. And Shapenga, I don't recall Shapenga dying that entire time. I know Akanda didn't, but I'm pretty sure Shapenga did not either. And he was actually losing quite a bit of those trades early on. So Utah, they have something to think about. Boulder, if they keep up that momentum, it's going to be a short game too. But we're going to see how it turns out as we get into the champion select, or I guess the lobby setup, I should say. Do want to give a shout out to our sponsors here, Band Gaming. It's a social app and the official social app for CSL with features such as creating groups, boards, calendar, functions, polls, chats, and even calls now. It's an easy choice for us, and we hope it's an easy choice for you. Join the CSL community at band.us/CStarLeague. And of course, Twitch, you're watching on Twitch, at least I hope you are. And definitely want to thank Twitch for sticking with us for the last few years, the largest streaming platform available, and how you're going to be watching the ULoL Campus series throughout its entirety. So thank you once again. And one last quick shout out to Azus. We want to welcome them back to CSL family for the 2016 and 2017 season. They are helping, excuse me, Asus is helping innovate the gaming and esports industry with wonderful products such as monitors, laptops, routers, GPUs, motherboards, and more. And of course, I actually have, fun fact about me, Dingon, I actually have 2 GPUs from Asus, and they work fantastic. So go check them out. Asus, they're pretty awesome. But we're going to go to a quick commercial break and cut to the music, get Champion Select going, and we'll be back in just a moment. Stick around.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.